Tampa 2, cover 2 man, or cover 5 as some people call it. One of the coverages that can be a gift and a curse. In one of my previous videos with the Dallas Cowboys, a team who really shifted into a lot of Tampa 2 and cover 2. Think about Dan Quinn, how he loved that cover 3 scheme. But as he got to the Dallas Cowboys and seeing how his personnel was best suited, he got into that Tampa 2 because you're getting the same type of look out of a different package, out of a different coverage, and you're still getting the same type of route concepts and timings that you're trying to throw off as a defensive coordinator. So, like I said, you're covering with the rush and you're rushing with the coverage, but sometimes it doesn't always work. And when it doesn't work, things can go extremely bad. So today I want to dive into why cover 2 is my favorite coverage, but it's also a gift and a curse. Let's get into the film. It's time to watch it all. Let's roll the tape. Right here, before we dive into everything I want to touch on with this play. So no completion for Joe Burrow. Gets a couple yards off of the scramble. Now, the interesting thing about this, kind of some pre-snap savviness by Mike Tomlin and his defensive coordinator. What we're going to see is that we're matching personnel. When I say matching personnel, 3 receivers to this side. So we see we got 3 receivers right here, and then we got 1 tight end to this side. So what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do is, see number 41 right here? That's Robert Spillane. And then the other guys that we have, these are 3 defensive backs. Now, crossing all of this out, what I want us to focus on right here is kind of getting into triangles. When I talk about cover 2, I'm going to want to focus on triangles. And what we see right here, we got a linebacker, a safety, and this would typically be a corner, but right here is Robert Spillane because they're matching personnels off the pre-snap. They're trying to give it a man look. And right here, this is the other triangle that we have. So sometimes these triangles get extended and it turns into a really weird shape. But what I want to talk about is that now, sometimes we're going to give the whole shot. Sometimes we get in between the safety and the corner and the linebacker if we could settle right there. And what the Cincinnati Bengals are going to do, they got a seam route right here from the receiver. They got a stick route right here, basically an out route. And then clearing this up, they got the vertical out here from the outside release on the X. So now getting into this, what we're going to see is that the corner, the way he plays this, he's sitting there. So if we're running this stick route right here, he can break on that football. And like I said, with cover 2, I think it's different for a lot of teams because different corners play different techniques. Some corners, I think of Trayvon Diggs when I think of cover 2. He's going to try to break on every football that he can break on because he's a ball hawk. But then you got some other guys who play it safer and cloud the flat just a bit more. Like I said, it goes with coaching scheme and also with the corner. If they play it like this and then they're forcing the underneath to now come down and break on it. So getting back into this, what I want to talk about, getting back into our triangle. So now understand that Minkah Fitzpatrick, sometimes you want to try this whole shot and get in between this safety and this corner, but Minkah's going to break on that. So now Joe Burrow, he really doesn't have anything that he likes. And I think right here what he's reading is he's reading this first. He has this right here, and then he has this seam route. And like I said, with Tampa 2 and cover 2 sometimes, if we got that mid hook or basically running the pole underneath, it's going to play out to be like a cover 3 look. But it's kind of hard because now we can't get underneath this guy. Middle of the field is open instead of closed. So now if we really put air on this football, because that's what we're going to have to do. And this is typically a middle linebacker sometimes right here. But understand that now because they match personnels, that's a defensive back covering the seam route. So if we put this ball over the top from Burrow, that gives these safeties time to bite down. Like I said, when we play cover 2, a lot of what I want to do and a lot of what I like is now closing in. I want to play outside in. Because if we can do that, now we can get over the top of some of these footballs. Now we can take away the whole shot just a bit and try to get more interceptions. But I like this play right here because it gives Burrow no look. And understand that if he wants to take this drag route right here, boom, we got this guy right here. Now he's sitting in that hook zone. So now he could break on this football, possibly make a big time hit or even get an interception if Burrow really tries that football right here. But he's not going to do that. Scrambles a bit, gets down. One of the big time plays that I like in talking about this coverage. We're going to get into some more, but this is why I like some of the possibilities that we can do with this coverage. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It would greatly help the channel as we get ready for NFL season, NBA season, everything in between. But a lot of people have been asking for these concept videos and basic terminology, talking about what I see on the field and what do I like to look at in coverages. Now let's get back to our triangle. that we talked about for these guys. When we look at cover 2, what do we like to read? Now we got a safety, a linebacker, and another linebacker. Now this is actually a safety type hybrid right here. But Fred Warner, again, some teams getting into these exotic looks when we look at cover 2, and this is just basically matching some of the things you want to do, tricking them pre-snap. So right here we're going to get a shake, and this is a shake route right here, and it's actually going to be open. So we got this guy, his eyes are here, and it's going to be open. But what you see, and kind of why I say it's a gift, and it could be a curse, but it's a gift when you got guys like this. Nick Bosa, he's going to spin off of this, and now he's in Geno's face, so he has to take the flat route. And right here, I believe this is Noah Fant. He's going to run a curl stop. So understand it. Let's get back to our triangle with the understanding of those routes and with the understanding of what these guys are doing. Like I said, we got the shake here, and then we got the curl here, then we got the flat route. So what we could do, and like I said, this is why it's so special when we talk about in this defense, because boom, that is there. This safety, he's occupied. His vision's there. Let's clear some of this up. This guy right here is occupied. His vision's right here. That's an ugly triangle, but his vision's there. His vision is here, but he's still bailing a bit. You can see in his footwork, he's still bailing out there. Got the shake. Linebacker safety hybrid. This is a tough route to cover, especially when you got a guy like Lockett. I mean, come on. So we understand we have that. And now we would want to hit this. This would be Geno's ball. Get it over this guy right here. Like I said, his eyes are there. His eyes are there. It's the read, but boom. When you got a guy like Nick Bosa, it's never going to work. So I would run it a lot, especially the last team I just showed you, TJ Watt. He's a guy. Rush with the coverage, cover with the rush. The Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, he's a guy. If these route concepts, they can get open, but if you don't have the pass rush or the pass protection, now you start to get into questions. And if you don't have the pass protections against elite guys like a Myles Garrett, like a Nick Bosa, like a Micah Parsons, like a TJ Watt, you're going to struggle because the timing is thrown off with these routes. Like I said, right here, but I mean, it's no time for it. So that's one thing I will say when talking about cover 2. Now, of course, it's a gift, but I also talked about a curse. So what do you mean by saying it's a curse, Mr. 24-Hour Sports? Let's get into 2 of those plays talking about what can go extremely wrong if you don't have a Bosa, Parsons, Watt. All right, so we're going to let this play roll again. Then we're going to dive into it. All my Chicago Bears fans, please stick with me and stick beside me. This is for the teaching tape purposes only. And I do want to preface this by saying that against a guy like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, you almost can't play any coverage, because if they get a window, they're going to fit the ball. Now let's get into this right here. Understanding that this corner route, this is the touchdown play. This is what he's going to hit right here. That's the touchdown. So right here, believe this may be Brisker or one of the safeties. Now I understand a couple of things and why that we say, okay, I know that he may cloud the flat or he may break into the flat. Now he doesn't have any work right here. So one thing you would say is that, okay, just keep sinking and getting depth underneath so we can really double this. Or also now you can help me, because this ball right here, Josh Allen can fit that. And when I say he can fit that, this is a linebacker. Now, what we've seen up to this point, we've seen defensive backs in this situation. This guy, we've seen defensive backs there. But this is a linebacker. Josh Allen can zip that on a window and put that on that outside shoulder. Yes, he can. So what I have to understand is that now I believe this is Gabe Davis. I got this guy right here. He's running a post. So that has to drag me a bit, because if I'm this safety right here, I'm in a bind. I want to get over the top of this and help my linebacker. I know he's in deer help. He's crying for help against this receiver. Now, also, what I want to do, you kind of want to continue to gain depth, but then we got this guy here. He runs free now. Who has him? So if I'm in this situation right here, back to this, I want to know, do I play this post? Because if I go right here, right now, boom, Josh Allen, he's going to come back to it. He's going to hit it. Now the corner and the safety are saying who's there because it's covered too. You're supposed to be right here, but you're breaking in the middle of that. And also this guy right here, should he break in the middle of that? This one route, And this is the difference between good offenses and good play concepts, good passing game coordinators, and the bad ones. It's spacing. It's making the defense think fast. Now, we're breaking this down to all 22, but this goes a million miles per hour. So it's really different in that situation. And now everybody's thinking it's 1,000 decisions to make. Right here, boom, Allen hits it. He's on time with the ball. He's accurate with the ball. And it's also tough for this safety to get out there and kind of make the play if he's hitting this right here by the pylon. So it can go tough. And also, nobody wins. Nobody wins. So this is why I said that I wouldn't say, we talk about the secondary for Chicago, and I think it has improved. You add Tyreek Stevenson. Now, add some guys in the pass rush and trying to get better in that aspect. But once you get better in that aspect, because a lot of teams try to run cover two to help the pass rush. But if you can't help the pass rush with cover two, it's a curse. This play right here by Joe Burrow extremely fitting for this take, because this is how I would attack cover two. The first thing I want to look at is always the safety. Can I drop a route concept against the pass rush? It depends the team and the defensive line, but can I drop a concept that really conflicts this safety? So now maybe I could go across his face so I could get into the hole shot, but then that gets us into the possibility of now we have to worry about the corner. Is he clouding or is he in a hard flat? So of course, if we're in 2x2, we actually are in an empty set right here. Got 3 receivers right here, got 2 right here. So it gets kind of tricky when we talk about this, but I'm going to talk about, like I said, middle of the field. When it's open, you want to take those opportunities. This guy, he's not running anything in the middle of the field. He's actually running a stick. We got a slot fade right here. He's getting out there. And like I said, this could possibly, it depends if we were to get a route right here, hypothetically. Now, we could try to fit this ball there. If the safety of his eyes are on this right here, we could try to fit that. Or we could possibly, now he gets attracted to this, he bails out on that. We take the whole shot because he's flat-footed. So that's one thing we could do, and I think that he's reading. It's a full field read right here on the progression. But ultimately, have out route right here, have a dig right here, and he gets back to this. This is what he's getting at. And again, our triangle. Like I said, it gets into really weird shapes once we get to certain points. I don't even know what shape that is. But we see our linebacker, our safety, and our corner. He's breaking on this. His eyes are also here. And he's bailing because he has to gain depth. Because you never know. You never know what you have. So he's gaining depth. And now that leaves us right here. Boom. In the middle of the field. Joe Burrow. Now he's going to hit this right here. He hits this dig. That's his read. Like I said, linebackers occupied. Got these 2 right here. It can be a curse, even though we see TJ Watt. Like I said, when I talked about why it could be a gift because you have a TJ Watt. TJ Watt's already decapitated this tight end right here. He's on the ground. You saw that in the full play. He decapitated him, but he still gets the ball off because he's making his reads. That is cover 2, ladies and gentlemen. It can be a gift. It can be a curse, but it's my favorite coverage, and I think a lot of teams will end up running it this year. Thank you for watching as always. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to do it for today's video. I'm going to drop down in the comments whether we're going to do next run concepts or another coverage, possibly cover 6 or cover 3, something just to talk about. But thank you for watching once again, and now we out.